before the world knew their names. They were just girls with dreams, cameras, and mixtapes. Behind every viral hit, every Grammy win, every cultural moment, there's a story the world never saw. A story of rejection, of grinding in silence, of betting everything on a dream that seemed impossible. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the lives of 10 female rappers before fame found them. Trust me, some of these stories will shock you. Let's dive in. Number 1, Nicki Minaj, the MySpace queen who almost gave up. Before Nicki Minaj was the undisputed queen of rap, before the colorful wigs and alter egos, before super bass made the world fall in love with her, she was Anna Catania Marriage, a struggling waitress at Red Lobster in the Bronx, New York. Imagine it's 2004, and Nicki is in her early 20s, serving endless plates of Cheddar Bay biscuits, dealing with difficult customers, and getting fired from job after job because her personality was too much. She got fired from Red Lobster. She got fired from multiple retail positions. Her managers would tell her she had an attitude problem, that she needed to tone it down and be more professional. But Nicki? She refused to dim her light for anyone. At night, after these soul-crushing shifts, she'd come home to a tiny apartment in Queens and record music. Not in some fancy studio, we're talking about a bedroom set up with basic equipment. She was writing verses that would make your head spin, creating characters and voices that would later become her signature style. The Roman Zelensky alter ego? That was born in these early days, a creative outlet for her frustration and ambition. But here's what most people don't know. Nicki was grinding in the underground NYC rap scene for years before anyone mainstream paid attention. She was releasing mixtapes on MySpace, yes, MySpace, when that was the platform for independent artists. Her page was filled with tracks that showcased her insane wordplay, her ability to switch flows mid-verse, and that unmistakable voice. The breakthrough moment came in 2007 when she released her mixtape Playtime Is Over. The New York streets started buzzing. DJ Big Mike and the Come Up DVD featured her freestyles, and suddenly, the right people were paying attention. Lil Wayne heard her bars and knew immediately, this girl was special. But even then, even after signing with Young Money in 2009, she had to fight to be taken seriously in a male-dominated label and industry. Nicki spent nearly a decade perfecting her craft before Pink Friday dropped in 2010. A decade of rejection, of being told female rappers don't sell, of proving every doubter wrong. Remember that next time you hear Moment for Life. That song title wasn't just catchy, it was her reality finally matching her decade-long dream. Number 2, Cardi B, from Instagram comedian to chart-topping legend. Okay, let's talk about Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar, better known as Cardi B. Now, everyone knows Cardi's origin story involves exotic dancing, but what people don't fully understand is the context, the why, and what she was doing before the fame that made her meteoric rise possible. Cardi grew up in the Highbridge neighborhood of the South Bronx. We're talking about one of the toughest areas of New York City. She was raised by a Dominican father and Trinidadian mother, living in a world where opportunities were limited and survival often meant making hard choices. She worked at a supermarket in Tribeca as a teenager, a regular 9-to-5 trying to make ends meet. But the money wasn't enough. Her manager at the time actually suggested she try dancing at a strip club across the street, and at 19, facing an abusive relationship and desperate to escape poverty, Cardi made a choice that would change her life. But here's the thing about Cardi that separated her from everyone else. While she was dancing, she was also building a social media empire. This was around 2013 to 2014, when Instagram was still relatively new as a platform for personal branding. Cardi started posting videos, raw, unfiltered, hilarious videos about her life and her opinions on relationships, money, and street politics. Her personality was magnetic. She had this way of breaking down complex social issues into digestible, entertaining rants that felt like your hilarious best friend giving you real talk. Her catchphrases went viral. "A hoe never gets cold" became an anthem. Her rants about men, money, and respect resonated with millions of women who saw themselves in her struggle and her ambition. She wasn't trying to be perfect or polished. she was authentically herself, accent and all. The Bronx flowed through every word she spoke. In 2015, she joined the cast of Love and Hip Hop, New York for seasons 6 and 7. While reality TV was her vehicle, Cardi was always vocal about her real goal, music. She was studying rappers, writing verses, and building her confidence on the mic. Critics thought she was just another reality star trying to rap, a narrative that has destroyed many careers before they started. But Cardi was different. She released her first mixtape, Gangsta Bitch Music, Volume 1, in 2016, followed by Volume 2 in 2017. The streets started paying attention. And then came Bodak Yellow in June 2017, a song she funded herself before Atlantic Records came calling. That song, inspired by Kodak Black's flow but made entirely her own, hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. A female rapper reaching number 1 without a feature hadn't happened since Lauryn Hill in 1998. Nearly 20 years. Cardi went from dancing to pay her bills to breaking records and winning Grammys in less than 5 years. But it wasn't luck, it was strategic branding, undeniable charisma, and an understanding of social media that most artists at the time didn't have. She built her audience first, then gave them the music they didn't know they needed. Genius! Number 3, Megan Thee Stallion, the college freestyle queen. Before Hot Girl Summer became a cultural phenomenon, before WAP broke the internet, before she became a 3-time Grammy winner, Megan Jovan Ruth Pete was a college student at Texas Southern University, posting freestyle videos on Instagram and trying to balance homework with her growing rap career. Megan grew up in Houston, Texas, the city that gave us Beyoncé, Travis Scott, and a rich hip-hop culture. Her mother, Hollywood, was a rapper herself, and Megan grew up in recording studios, watching her mom write and perform. From age 7, she was already writing her own raps. Music wasn't just a passion, it was in her DNA. But here's what's remarkable about Megan: even as her rap career started taking off, she stayed in college. She was pursuing a degree in health administration at Prairie View A&M University, later transferring to Texas Southern University, while simultaneously building her rap profile. Picture this: she's in class during the day, studying for exams, writing papers, and at night, she's performing at local venues, recording music, and posting freestyle videos that are starting to go viral. Those freestyle videos are legendary now. Megan would rap over popular beats, showcasing her lyrical ability, her confidence, and her undeniable sex appeal. She coined the term, hot girl, way before it became mainstream. It was her brand, her movement, representing confidence and owning your sexuality without apology. Young women connected with it immediately. In 2016, she released her first mixtape, Rich Ratchet, but it was her 2017 EP, Make It Hot, that started getting serious attention in Houston's underground scene. Local DJs were playing her tracks. Her YouTube videos were racking up hundreds of thousands of views. The buzz was building organically, no major label, no industry machine, just raw talent and social media savvy. The turning point for her came in 2018 with her EP Tina Snow, named after her alter ego inspired by Pimp C's alias Tony Snow. The project featured Big Ol' Freak, which became her first song to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. But even then, Megan wasn't signed to a major label. She was still independent, still grinding, still posting freestyles that showcased why she was different from every other female rapper in the game. What made Megan's pre-fame journey unique was her commitment to education alongside her music career. In interviews from 2018 and 2019, she talked about going to class, then heading straight to the studio. She watched her mother battle brain cancer while trying to keep her own dreams alive. Her mom passed away in March 2019, just as Megan's career was beginning to explode. That loss devastated her, but it also fueled her drive. Her mother always told her to finish school, to have something to fall back on, and Megan honored that promise even as she was becoming a superstar. By 2019, she signed with 300 Entertainment, a deal that would later become controversial and lead to legal battles, and released Fever, her second mixtape, which went on to be certified platinum. Cash Shit with the Baby became a hit, and suddenly, the girl who was posting freestyles in her college apartment was being recognized as the next big thing in hip-hop. But let's be real, Megan was already a star before the industry acknowledged it. Her fans, the hotties, had been following her journey since those early freestyle days. They watched her evolution from underground Houston rapper to global icon in real time. When Hot Girl Summer dropped in August 2019 with Nicki Minaj and Ty Dolla $ign, it felt like a coronation for someone who had been putting in work for years. And through it all, the success, the tragedy, the controversies, the shooting incident in 2020 that would test her strength in unimaginable ways, Megan kept her promise to her mother. In December 2021, she graduated from Texas Southern University with a Bachelor of Science in Health Administration. She walked across that stage as a Grammy-winning, chart-topping artist who never forgot where she came from or the promises she made. That's not just a rapper, that's a role model. Number 4, Doja Cat, the bedroom producer who memed her way to stardom. Umla Ratna Zandal Dlamini, known to the world as Doja Cat, has one of the most unconventional origin stories in modern hip-hop. Before Say So became a TikTok phenomenon, before she became known for her genre-blending artistry and outrageous visuals, Doja was a teenage bedroom producer making weird, experimental music that didn't fit any conventional mold. Born in Los Angeles to a South African actor father, Dumisani Dlamini, who was in the original Broadway production of Sarafina, and a Jewish-American painter mother, Doja grew up in an artistic household. But her parents separated when she was young, and she was raised primarily by her mother, moving around a lot, from California to New York and back again. This constant movement meant Doja never really fit in anywhere and never had that stable friend group or consistent environment. She dropped out of high school at 16, not because she wasn't smart, but because she felt suffocated by traditional education. She wanted to create. So what did teenage Doja do? She locked herself in her bedroom and taught herself how to produce music using GarageBand. Not just rap, she was experimenting with electronic music, R&B, pop, and hip-hop, creating this weird fusion that was uniquely hers. She'd spend hours and hours crafting beats, writing lyrics, recording vocals, and mixing tracks, all from her laptop in her room. No studio. No professional equipment. Just raw creativity and determination. In 2012, at just 16 years old, she started uploading songs to SoundCloud under various names. The internet became her playground, her audience, and her record label. She was creating music for the joy of it, not thinking about commercial success or fitting into industry standards. And that freedom allowed her to be genuinely innovative. The breakthrough moment, or at least the first viral moment, came in 2013 when she released So High on SoundCloud. The song caught the attention of Dr. Luke's label, Chemisabe Records, later RCA Records, and they signed her when she was just 17 years old. Her debut EP, Purr, dropped in 2014, showcasing her eclectic style and playful approach to music. But here's the thing, it didn't really pop off. The industry didn't know what to do with her. She was too weird for mainstream rap, too hip-hop for pop radio, and too experimental for R&B stations. For the next few years, Doja was in label limbo, signed but not really being promoted, making music but not gaining traction. She could have given up. Many artists do when they sign a deal that doesn't immediately lead to success. But Doja kept creating, kept experimenting, and kept being herself. Then came 2018, and everything changed because of a joke. Yes, a literal joke. Doja created a song called Ma, where she raps about being a cow, complete with a low-budget music video featuring her in cowprint clothing and horns, dancing in front of a green screen with amateur effects. It was absurd, ridiculous, meme-worthy, and it went massively viral. Millions of views. Endless memes. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know, who is this weird girl making cow songs? But here's the genius of it. While everyone was laughing at the meme, they were also discovering that Doja Cat could actually rap. Like really rap. Her flow was impeccable, her wordplay was sharp, and her production was legitimately impressive. Ma was a Trojan horse that introduced the masses to an incredibly talented artist they had been sleeping on. She followed up with her album Hot Pink in 2019, featuring Juicy and eventually Say So, the latter becoming a global smash hit in 2020 thanks to TikTok. But by then, Doja had already built a loyal fanbase who appreciated her for her authenticity, her weirdness, and her refusal to be boxed in. Doja Cat's pre-fame story teaches us something important. Sometimes the path to success isn't a straight line. Sometimes you have to be willing to be misunderstood, to experiment, to not fit in. She spent years as a bedroom producer that nobody outside of SoundCloud knew about, then years signed to a label that didn't know how to market her, before finally breaking through by being unapologetically herself. The weird girl who made cow songs is now one of the biggest artists in the world. Never underestimate the power of being different. Number 5. Lizzo, the classically trained flutist who slept in her car. Before Lizzo was preaching self-love on Grammy stages, before Truth Hurts became the anthem of 2019, and before she became a symbol of body positivity and confidence, Melissa Vivian Jefferson was sleeping in her car, contemplating giving up on music entirely, wondering if all the sacrifice had been for nothing. Let's rewind. Lizzo grew up in Detroit, then moved to Houston, Texas, as a preteen. She was a classically trained flutist, yes, flutist, who studied music seriously from a young age. She played in marching bands, took private lessons, and even attended the University of Houston on a music scholarship, studying classical performance. This wasn't a hobby. This was rigorous, disciplined musical training that gave her a foundation most rappers and singers don't have. But in 2010, everything fell apart. Her father died suddenly, and Lizzo was devastated. She was 21 years old, grieving, broke, and lost. She dropped out of college and moved to Minneapolis with basically nothing, chasing a music dream that seemed increasingly impossible. And for the next several years, she lived what she later described as her dark period. Picture this. Lizzo is in her mid-20s, performing at small venues for barely any money, working odd jobs to survive, and yes, there were periods where she was living in her car because she couldn't afford rent. She'd shower at gyms, eat whatever she could afford, and still show up to perform with everything she had because music was all she had left. In Minneapolis, she became part of the indie music scene, joining groups like Cornrow Clique, The Chalice, and Girl Party. She was rapping, singing, playing flute, and producing, a true multi-hyphenate artist grinding in relative obscurity. She released her debut album, Lizzo Bangers, in 2013 through independent label Totally Gross National Product. The album got some critical acclaim in indie music circles, but it didn't lead to commercial success. No radio play. No major label deal. Just more grinding. She followed up with Big Girl's Small World in 2015, and again, critics praised it, but mainstream America wasn't paying attention. Lizzo was now in her late 20s, still struggling financially, still wondering if she'd ever break through. She later revealed that around 2015 to 2016, she almost quit music entirely. She was exhausted, broke, and didn't see a path forward. But something in her refused to give up. Maybe it was her father's memory. Maybe it was the little girl who fell in love with the flute and dreamed of performing. Maybe it was just pure stubbornness. Whatever it was, Lizzo kept going. In 2016, she signed with Atlantic Records and released the single Good as Hell, which was featured in the film Barbershop, The Next Cut. The song was catchy and empowering and showcased Lizzo's incredible vocal range and personality. But even then, it didn't immediately become a hit. It charted modestly and then faded. For the next 2 years, Lizzo kept releasing music, kept performing, and kept building her brand around self-love, body positivity, and empowerment. She was ahead of the curve on social media, creating content that was authentic and engaging. She was vulnerable about her struggles, her insecurities, and her journey. People started connecting with her, not just as an artist, but as a person. Then came 2019, and everything finally aligned. Her album 'Cause I Love You dropped in April, featuring the explosive title track that showcased her vocal power and that signature flute. But the real game changer was Truth Hurts, a song that had actually been released 2 years earlier in 2017 and flopped. It got featured in the Netflix movie Someone Great in 2019, went viral on TikTok, and suddenly, everyone wanted to know about Lizzo. Truth Hurts hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in September 2019, making Lizzo, at 31 years old, one of the oldest female artists to ever debut at number 1 with her first Hot 100 chart topper. It stayed at number 1 for 7 weeks. Good as Hell, the song from 2016, also started climbing the charts, eventually reaching the top 3. Lizzo had not one but 2 massive hits simultaneously, both from songs that had previously been overlooked. The 2020 Grammys were Lizzo's coronation. She won 3 awards, opened the show with a powerhouse performance, and proved that timing is everything, but persistence is what gets you there. The woman who slept in her car less than a decade earlier was now on top of the world. Lizzo's story is a masterclass in perseverance. She spent more than 15 years grinding, from classical flute training to indie rap groups to homelessness to finally getting her flowers. And when she talks about self-love and worth, it hits different because you know she earned that confidence through surviving rejection after rejection until the world finally caught up to her talent. That's not just inspiring, that's legendary. Number 6. Iggy Azalea, the Australian teenager who moved to America alone. Amethyst Amelia Kelly, known professionally as Iggy Azalea, has one of the most audacious pre-fame stories in hip-hop history. Before she was topping charts with Fancy, before the controversies and debates about cultural appropriation, before any of that, she was a 16-year-old girl from Mullumbimby, Australia, a tiny town with a population of about 3,000, who made a decision that most teenagers couldn't even fathom. She was going to move to America, alone, to become a rapper. Let that sink in for a second. 16 years old. No connections. No record deal. No plan beyond I'm going to make it in hip-hop. And she actually did it. Growing up in rural Australia, Iggy was obsessed with American hip-hop culture. She'd watch music videos, study American rappers, practice her flow, and dream of being part of that world. But she wasn't just in Australia, she was in a tiny town where hip-hop culture barely existed. She was an outsider dreaming about being an outsider in a foreign country. Her mother thought she was crazy. Her friends thought she'd come back in a few months. But Iggy had a conviction that couldn't be shaken. Before she left Australia, she dropped out of high school. She worked jobs and saved every dollar she could. And the day she turned 16, the minimum age she could legally leave home in Australia, she got on a plane to the United States with a tourist visa and a dream. No return ticket. No safety net. Just faith in herself. She initially landed in Miami, Florida, drawn by its hip-hop scene and the warm climate that reminded her of home. But Miami wasn't the right fit, and she soon moved to Houston, Texas, then eventually to Atlanta, Georgia, the heart of Southern hip-hop. Throughout all of this, she was living off her savings, which ran out quickly. She stayed with strangers she met online who were connected to the music scene. She slept on couches. She worked odd jobs. She lived in an apartment with no furniture, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. And every day, she was writing rhymes, recording demos with whoever would let her use their studio, and trying to network her way into the industry. Remember, this is before social media made self-promotion easy. This was around 2006 to 2007. MySpace was the main platform, and Iggy was grinding on there, uploading songs, connecting with other artists, and trying to get anyone to pay attention to a white girl from Australia who wanted to rap with a southern accent. The criticism started immediately. Who was this girl? Why is she rapping like that? What gives her the right? These were questions that would follow Iggy throughout her career, but in the early days, they were even more pronounced because she had no credibility, no cosigns, and nothing but her own belief in her talent. In 2011, after 5 years of grinding in America, she finally caught a break. She released music videos for Poo$y and 2 times on YouTube, and they went viral. The production was professional, her look was striking, and her flow was undeniably catchy. Suddenly, blogs were talking about her. Industry people were paying attention. Controversy was brewing. Many questioned her authenticity, her accent, and her right to participate in hip-hop culture. But attention is attention, and Iggy was finally getting it. Rapper T.I. saw her potential and signed her to his label Grand Hustle Records in 2012. Having a credible Atlanta rapper vouch for her gave Iggy the legitimacy she needed. She released her mixtape Ignorant Art and started building a legitimate fan base, not just as a novelty, but as a serious artist. Her debut studio album, The New Classic, dropped in April 2014, and it was a massive commercial success. Fancy, featuring Charlie XCX, hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 7 weeks. She became the first non-American female rapper to reach number 1 on the chart. At one point in 2014, she had the top 2 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 simultaneously, Fancy and Problem, her feature on Ariana Grande's song. Only the Beatles had previously achieved this feat. An Australian girl who moved to America at 16 with nothing was now making history. Now, Iggy's career has been controversial, and the conversation about cultural appropriation in hip-hop is valid and important. But from a pure ambition and determination standpoint, her pre-fame story is remarkable. She literally moved across the world as a teenager, survived years of poverty and rejection, and willed herself into becoming a mainstream success through sheer persistence. Whether you love her music or have critiques of her place in hip-hop culture, you can't deny the audacity of her journey. Number 7. Saweetie. From Instagram freestyles to Icy Girl phenomenon. Diamond Cave Valentine Harper, professionally known as Saweetie, represents a new generation of rappers who understood social media's power before the industry did. Before ICGRL made her a household name, before her relationship with Quavo became tabloid fodder, before the fashion deals and mainstream success. Saweetie was a college student at USC, posting freestyle videos on Instagram and building a brand one post at a time. Saweetie grew up in the Bay Area of California, specifically Hayward, in a family with surprising musical roots. Her maternal grandmother is Roxanne Shantae's sister, and her first cousin once removed is MC Hammer. So hip-hop royalty runs through her veins, even though most people didn't know this when she first emerged. But unlike some industry kids, Saweetie wasn't handed connections or opportunities. She had to build her own path. She was a smart, driven student who attended San Diego State University before transferring to the University of Southern California, where she studied communications and business. This wasn't a backup plan. Saweetie genuinely valued education and understood that the business side of music was just as important as the creative side. While many aspiring rappers focus solely on their bars, Saweetie was studying marketing, branding, and communication strategies that would later help her build an empire. But even while taking her studies seriously, she was also nurturing her rap ambitions. In her dorm room and apartment, she'd write rhymes, practice her delivery, and film freestyle videos. This was around 2016 to 2017. When Instagram was becoming the premier platform for artists to showcase their talent directly to potential fans without needing radio stations or record labels as gatekeepers. Saweetie's approach was strategic. She wasn't just randomly posting freestyles, she was creating content that was visually appealing and that showcased her personality, style, and confidence while also demonstrating her rap skills. She understood that in the Instagram era, you needed to sell the lifestyle, the aesthetic, the whole package, not just the music. Her breakthrough moment came in 2017 when she posted a freestyle over Kia's My Neck, My Back beat, rapping the now iconic opening lines, "My neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack." Wait, no, that's Kia's version. Saweetie's version went, "I got that icy wrist, I got that icy chain, I got that icy life, and I'm feeling like the man." Okay, you get the idea. She flipped the beat and made it her own, and the video went viral almost immediately. The video caught the attention of Max Goose, a veteran music executive who had worked with Beyoncé, Mary J. Blige, and others. He reached out to Saweetie, and soon, she was signed to Warner Records and his Artistry Worldwide imprint. This was in 2018, and things moved fast from there. She officially released ICGRL, stylized as ICGRL, as her debut single in July 2018, and it climbed to number 16 on the Billboard Mainstream R&B/Hip Hop chart. The song's music video, featuring Saweetie in designer outfits, luxury settings, and exuding confidence, has now accumulated over 200 million views on YouTube. The aesthetic she had been cultivating on Instagram translated perfectly to official music videos. What made Saweetie's rise different was her understanding of branding and business. She wasn't just a rapper, she was building a lifestyle brand called ICY, representing confidence, success, and unapologetic femininity. She created catchphrases like, "Icy Season," and merchandise that her fans could buy into. She was thinking like an entrepreneur, not just an artist. Her follow-up EP, High Maintenance, dropped in March 2018, followed by Icy in 2019, featuring the hit My Type, which reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. Each release was accompanied by strategic social media campaigns, fashion moments, and collaborations that expanded her reach beyond just music fans. But here's what's important about Saweetie's pre-fame story. She graduated from USC with her degree before fully committing to music full-time. She balanced her education with her emerging rap career, understanding that having a college degree and business knowledge would serve her well in an industry known for exploiting young artists. By the time ICGRL went viral, Saweetie already had the education and strategic thinking to capitalize on the moment and build something sustainable. Saweetie represents the Instagram generation of rappers, artists who didn't need traditional gatekeepers, who understood personal branding, and who could create their own buzz through social media savvy and strategic content creation. She went from freestyling in her college apartment to collaborating with Doja Cat on Best Friend, performing at major festivals, and launching successful business ventures, all because she understood that in the modern music industry, you need to be more than just a talented rapper. You need to be a brand. And Saweetie has been ICY from day one. Number 8, Ice Spice. From Bronx High School to Drill Princess. Isis Nyjah Gaston, known professionally as Ice Spice, has one of the most recent and meteoric rises on this list. But her pre-fame story is fascinating because it shows how quickly things can change in the social media era when talent meets timing. Ice Spice was born and raised in the Bronx, New York, specifically the Fordham Road area. Growing up in the Bronx in the 2000s and 2010s meant being surrounded by hip-hop culture. It was in the air she breathed, the streets she walked, and the parties she attended. Her father was an underground rapper, so she was exposed to the creative process from a young age, watching him write and record music, understanding the grind required to make it in hip-hop. But young Isis wasn't immediately focused on rap. She was a regular high school student attending Sacred Heart High School and then later transferring to Purchase College to study communications. She had curly reddish-orange hair that made her stand out, a look that would later become iconic. But she was just a Bronx girl trying to figure out her path. The pivot to music came during her college years, around 2021. She started writing raps, influenced by the Bronx drill scene that was exploding around her. Drill music, a subgenre of hip-hop characterized by dark, violent lyrics and trap-influenced beats, had migrated from Chicago to New York, and Bronx artists were putting their own spin on it. Artists like K-Flock, B-Lovey, and Dougie B were blowing up locally, and Ice Spice saw an opening. She met producer Riot USA, also stylized as Riotusa, through her friend, and they started working together in 2021. Riot became her primary producer, crafting beats that were distinctly drill but with a slightly more melodic, accessible quality that matched Ice Spice's flow. She wasn't trying to sound like the male drill rappers, she was carving out her own lane with a more laid-back, almost nonchalant delivery that contrasted with the aggressive beats. In 2022, she started releasing songs on SoundCloud and promoting them on TikTok and Instagram. Bully Freestyle dropped in March 2022, Name of Love in April, and Bikini Bottom in July. The songs were getting some local buzz in the Bronx, but nothing crazy. She was just another aspiring rapper trying to break through in an oversaturated market. Then came August 2022, And everything changed with Munch, Feelin' You. The song, produced by Riot, was catchy, quotable, and perfect for TikTok. The opening line, "You thought I was feeling you?" became an instant meme. The song's music video, filmed on a relatively small budget around the Bronx, showed Ice Spice's personality and the authentic environment she came from. The video went viral on TikTok, with thousands of people creating content using the sound. But here's what really catapulted Ice Spice from viral moment to legitimate artist: Drake co-signed her. In September 2022, Drake posted an Instagram story with Munch playing, and he was clearly feeling it. When Drake, one of the biggest artists in the world, publicly endorses a new artist, the industry pays attention. Suddenly, Ice Spice went from having a viral song to having major label interest, blog coverage, and a rapidly growing fanbase. She followed up with Bikini Bottom in October 2022 and then in Ha Mood in January 2023, each song building on the momentum of the last. Her sound was consistent, Bronx drill with her signature nonchalant flow and quotable lyrics that resonated with young women who saw themselves in her confidence and attitude. The real confirmation of her star power came when she started collaborating with established artists. Gangsta Boo with Lil TJ dropped in February 2023. Then came Princess Diana in March, Deli featuring Lil TJ in April, and then the big one, Karma remix with Taylor Swift in May 2023. Yes, Taylor Swift, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, wanted to work with Ice Spice, who had been releasing music professionally for less than a year. From there, it was the Pink Pantheress collaboration Boys a Liar PT2, which became a massive hit, and Nicki Minaj collaborations on the Princess Diana remix and Barbie World for the Barbie movie soundtrack. Ice Spice went from a college student recording songs in 2021 to sharing stages and tracks with some of the biggest names in music by 2023. What's remarkable about Ice Spice's pre-fame story is how short it is. In the traditional sense, she didn't have years of grinding in obscurity. She had maybe a year of building locally before Munch broke through nationally. But that's the new reality of music in the social media age. If you have the right song at the right time, with the right look and marketing, you can go from unknown to superstar in months, not years. But don't mistake speed for ease. Ice Spice grew up in the Bronx, understanding the culture and the sound authentically. She studied what was working in drill, found her own lane within it, and executed flawlessly. She understood social media, created music that was TikTok-friendly without being corny, and when the moment came, she was ready to capitalize on it. That's not luck, that's preparation meeting opportunity. Number 9, Latto, from reality TV to rap royalty. Alyssa Michelle Stevens, professionally known as Latto, formerly Mulatto, represents a unique path to fame, reality television. But her story is much deeper than just winning a competition. Before Big Energy became a massive hit, before she was collaborating with Mariah Carey, before the name change and mainstream success, Latto was a kid from Atlanta grinding in the local scene, trying to prove she was more than just a reality TV winner. Born in Columbus, Ohio, but raised in Atlanta, Georgia, Latto grew up in the heart of Southern hip-hop. Atlanta in the 2000s and 2010s was the place for hip-hop, home to Outkast, T.I., Ludacris, Gucci Mane, Future, and countless others. The culture was everywhere, and Latto was absorbing it all from a young age. She started rapping at age 10, writing her own rhymes and performing at local events. By the time she was a teenager, she was seriously pursuing music, performing in the Atlanta underground scene, and building a local following. But breaking through nationally seemed impossible. Atlanta had so many talented rappers competing for attention that standing out was incredibly difficult. In 2016, when she was just 16 years old, Latto decided to audition for a new reality show called The Rap Game on Lifetime, produced by Jermaine Dupri and Queen Latifah. The show featured young rappers competing for a record deal with Dupri's So So Def Records. Latto, going by the name Miss Mulatto at the time, impressed immediately with her confidence, her bars, and her work ethic. She won season 1 of The Rap Game, but here's where the story takes an unexpected turn: she turned down the record deal. A 16-year-old won a nationally televised competition with a record deal as the prize, and she said no. Why? Because after reading the contract and discussing it with her family, she felt the terms weren't favorable and would limit her creative control and earning potential. That's an incredibly mature and strategic decision for a teenager. So Latto was back to square one, but now with national exposure from the show and a point to prove. She had to show the world she didn't need Jermaine Dupri's deal to make it. She started releasing music independently, building her brand, and grinding even harder than before. In 2016 and 2017, she released singles and mixtapes, trying to capitalize on the buzz from the rap game while it was still relevant. But the harsh reality of the music industry set in. Reality TV exposure fades fast, and if you don't have a hit song or major label support, you're just another artist struggling for attention. The breakthrough moment came in 2019 with Beat CH from the South, stylized as Bitch from the South. The song was aggressive, confident, and undeniably catchy, with Latto rapping over a hard-hitting beat about her come-up, her skills, and her refusal to be underestimated. The song went viral on social media, and suddenly, major labels were interested again. But this time, Latto had leverage. She signed with RCA Records through Stringcut in 2020, and they re-released Bitch from the South, which charted on the Billboard Hot 100. The remix featuring Saweetie and Trina further boosted its profile, bringing together 3 generations of female rappers on one track. Latto was no longer just a girl from the rap game, she was a legitimate artist with a hit song. Her debut studio album, Queen of the South, dropped in August 2020, reaching number 44 on the Billboard 200. The project showcased her versatility, her southern roots, and her growth as an artist. But it was just the beginning. In 2021, she made the significant decision to shorten her stage name from mulatto to Latto. The term, mulatto, while part of her mixed-race identity, she has a white father and black mother, is considered outdated and offensive by many. Latto explained that she wanted to move past the name and let her music speak for itself. It was a mature decision that showed personal growth and awareness. And then came 2022 and Big Energy. The song, which samples Tom Tom Club's Genius of Love, the same sample used in Mariah Carey's Fantasy, became Latto's biggest hit to date, reaching number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. The remix featuring Mariah Carey herself was a full-circle moment, a reality TV contestant turned chart-topping artist collaborating with one of the greatest singers of all time. Latto's pre-fame story is about patience, strategy, and betting on yourself. She could have signed that deal at 16 and potentially been locked into an unfavorable situation. Instead, she took the harder path, grinding for several more years, and when success finally came, it was on her terms. She went from reality TV contestant to independent artist to signed rapper to mainstream star, proving that sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination. And now, she's one of the leading voices in female rap, carrying the torch for Southern hip-hop and showing young artists that you don't have to accept the first opportunity that comes your way. Sometimes, patience and self-belief pay off bigger than you could imagine. Number 10, Tierra Whack, the underground experimental genius. Before we get to our bonus artist, we need to talk about Tierra Whack, one of the most creative, innovative, and underrated rappers in the game. Unlike many artists on this list who achieved mainstream commercial success, Tierra represents the underground artist who built a cult following through pure artistic innovation and creativity. Tierra Helena Whack was born and raised in North Philadelphia, specifically the Frankford neighborhood. Growing up in Philly, she was surrounded by the city's rich musical history, from the Roots to Meek Mill to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. But Tierra was always different. She wasn't trying to fit into any conventional mold or follow anyone's blueprint. She started rapping at a young age, going by the name Dizzle Diz in her early teens. She'd perform at local events in Philly, showcasing skills that were clearly advanced for her age. But the early material, while showing promise, hadn't yet found the unique voice that would later define her career. After graduating from high school, Tierra worked various jobs, retail, food service, whatever paid the bills, while continuing to write and record music. She was part of the Philadelphia underground scene, connecting with local producers and artists, slowly building a small but devoted following of people who appreciated her weird, experimental approach to hip-hop. In 2017, she started releasing music under her real name, Tierra Whack, signaling a new chapter and a clearer artistic vision. She dropped tracks on SoundCloud that showcased her versatility. She could rap fast or slow, sing beautifully or deliver aggressive bars, switch flows multiple times in one song, and create vivid imagery with her lyrics. But she was still relatively unknown outside of Philadelphia music circles. Then came March 2018, and Tierra Whack did something absolutely revolutionary that changed her career forever. She released Whack World, a 15-minute visual album consisting of 15 songs, each exactly 1 minute long. Yes, you read that right. 15 one-minute songs with 15 different music videos, all released as one continuous audio-visual project. This wasn't just a gimmick. Each song was a fully realized creative statement, complete with its own production style, visual aesthetic, and lyrical theme. She covered everything from childhood trauma to relationships to mental health to absurdist humor, all in 60-second increments. Songs like Hungry Hippo, Pet Cemetery, Fruit Salad, and Crack showed her incredible range. She could be playful and silly 1 minute, then deeply emotional and vulnerable the next. The internet lost its mind. Music critics were stunned. This was something genuinely new in hip-hop, a format that challenged the traditional album structure and forced listeners to engage differently. In an era of streaming where attention spans are shrinking and artists are releasing longer albums with more filler, Tierra went in the complete opposite direction. Every second was intentional, and every song was concise and impactful. Whack World didn't have any huge radio hits or go platinum, but it made Tierra a critical darling overnight. Publications like Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, and the New York Times praised her innovation. She was invited to perform at major festivals. Other artists started paying attention. She collaborated with Beyoncé, yes, Beyoncé, on My Power for the Lion King soundtrack in 2019. Melanie Martinez, another experimental pop artist, collaborated with her. Tyler, the Creator, became a fan. But here's what makes Tierra's pre-fame story so compelling. She didn't compromise her artistic vision to achieve commercial success. She stayed weird, stayed experimental, and stayed true to herself even when the industry pressure to make radio-friendly music was immense. Her follow-up projects, like Unemployed in 2021, continued to push boundaries and defy expectations. Tierra Whack represents the artist who values creative integrity over commercial success, who would rather have a cult following of devoted fans than dilute her art for mainstream appeal. And in doing so, she's carved out a unique space in hip-hop where she's celebrated for her innovation, her fearlessness, and her refusal to be anything other than authentically, unapologetically herself. Her pre-fame story was years of grinding in Philadelphia, working dead-end jobs, performing for small crowds, and developing a voice that couldn't be categorized or contained. And when she finally broke through, it was on her own terms, with a project so original that it forced the industry to pay attention. That's not just inspiring, that's revolutionary. Bonus, Rhapsody, the lyrical genius who refused to compromise. Now, for our bonus artist, we have to talk about Rhapsody, Marlana Evans from Snow Hill, North Carolina. If you're a true hip-hop head who values lyricism, wordplay, and conscious rap, you already know Rhapsody is one of the best to ever touch a microphone. But her journey to recognition is a story of perseverance in an industry that often overlooks substance for commercial appeal. Rhapsody grew up in a small town in North Carolina, about 90 minutes from Raleigh. Snow Hill had a population of fewer than 2,000 people. This wasn't a major city with a thriving hip-hop scene. This was rural North Carolina. But Rhapsody fell in love with hip-hop through artists like Lauryn Hill, MC Lyte, Tupac, and Jay-Z. She'd listen to their albums on repeat, studying their lyrics, their flows, and their storytelling techniques. She started rapping as a teenager, writing verses in notebooks, performing at local talent shows, and dreaming of a career that seemed impossible from where she stood. After high school, she attended North Carolina State University, where she studied communications. College was where she really started taking rap seriously, connecting with local producers and artists in the Raleigh-Durham area. In 2008, while still in college, she met Ninth Wonder, the legendary producer who was part of Little Brother and had produced for Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, and countless others. Ninth Wonder heard Rhapsody rap and immediately recognized her talent. He took her under his wing, and she became part of his Jamla Records label and the Crisis and Ninth Wonder production group. But even with a legendary producer backing her, Rhapsody's path to recognition was slow. She released her first mixtape, Return of the B-Girl, in 2008, which got some underground buzz but no mainstream attention. She followed it with Thank Her, now in 2012, and She Got Game in 2013. Critics who heard these projects praised her lyrical ability, her conscious content, and her technical skill. But hip-hop fans at large weren't paying attention. Here's the reality Rhapsody faced. She was a female rapper who didn't fit the industry's preferred mold. She wasn't interested in making club bangers or singing hooks. She wasn't willing to hypersexualize herself for attention. She wasn't trying to start beef or create drama for publicity. She just wanted to rap, and in an era where hip-hop was increasingly moving toward melody and streaming numbers, pure lyricism wasn't commercially valued. For years, Rhapsody performed at small venues, released music that was critically acclaimed but commercially overlooked, and watched less skilled artists blow up while she remained underground. She was in her late 20s and early 30s, still grinding, still believing in her craft, but wondering if the mainstream would ever appreciate what she was doing. The breakthrough moment came in 2017 with her album Layla's Wisdom, named after her grandmother. The project was a masterpiece, deeply personal, socially conscious, and technically flawless. Kendrick Lamar, one of the most respected artists in hip-hop, appeared on the track Power and gave Rhapsody his full endorsement. The album was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 2018 Grammys, putting Rhapsody on a stage she'd been working toward for nearly a decade. But even more impressive was her 2019 album Eve, where every song was named after influential black women: Oprah, Serena, Whoopi, Michelle, Cleo, Cleopatra, Maya Angelou, Aaliyah, and more. Each song explored themes of black womanhood, empowerment, and excellence, with features from legends like D'Angelo, P.J. Morton, and J.I.D. The album earned her another Grammy nomination and solidified her reputation as one of the best lyricists in the game, regardless of gender. Rhapsody's pre-fame story, which really extends all the way to 2017 when she was already 35 years old, is about integrity, patience, and refusing to compromise your art for commercial success. She spent nearly a decade releasing excellent music that the mainstream ignored. She could have pivoted to making more commercial-friendly songs, but she didn't. She stayed true to conscious, lyrical hip-hop even when it wasn't trendy. And now, while she may not have the commercial success of some artists on this list, she has the respect of every serious hip-hop artist and fan. J. Cole calls her one of the best. Kendrick Lamar collaborates with her. Critics consistently rank her among the greatest lyricists. She's won BET Awards and earned multiple Grammy nominations. Rhapsody represents the artist who chose legacy over fame, substance over commercial success, and respect over radio play. Her pre-fame story is the longest on this list, but it's also perhaps the most important, because it reminds us that true artistry doesn't always get immediate recognition, but if you stay committed to your craft and refuse to compromise, eventually, the right people will notice. And that respect, that legacy, is worth more than any fleeting viral moment. So there you have it, 10 incredible female rappers, plus a bonus legend, who all had one thing in common: they refused to give up on their dreams even when the path seemed impossible. Nicki Minaj was getting fired from Red Lobster while recording in her bedroom. Cardi B was dancing to escape poverty while building a social media empire. Megan Thee Stallion was balancing college homework with becoming a freestyle queen. Doja Cat was a teenage bedroom producer that nobody understood. Lizzo was sleeping in her car, contemplating quitting music entirely. Iggy Azalea moved to America at 16 with nothing but conviction. Saweetie was posting freestyles from her college dorm while studying business. Ice Spice went from Bronx High School student to global phenomenon in less than 2 years. Latto turned down a record deal at 16 and bet on herself. Tierra Whack worked dead-end jobs while creating experimental art that the mainstream wasn't ready for. And Rhapsody spent nearly a decade being critically acclaimed but commercially overlooked before finally getting her flowers. Every single one of these women faced rejection. Every single one was told they wouldn't make it. Every single one had moments where giving up seemed easier than continuing. But they didn't quit. They kept writing, kept recording, kept performing, and kept believing in themselves when nobody else did. And that's the real lesson here. Success isn't just about talent. It's about persistence, resilience, and refusing to let circumstances define your future. These women came from different backgrounds, took different paths, and faced different obstacles, but they all shared an unshakable belief that they were meant for greatness. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these stories resonated with you the most? Are you inspired by Lizzo's perseverance? Cardi B's strategic branding? Tierra Whack's artistic integrity? Rhapsody's commitment to lyricism? Drop a comment below with the name of the rapper whose journey speaks to you, and tell us why. And if you're out there right now grinding on your own dream, whether it's music, art, business, or anything else, remember these stories. Remember that Megan Thee Stallion was posting freestyles from her college dorm. Remember that Nicki Minaj spent 10 years working toward her moment. Remember that success rarely happens overnight, but when you combine talent with persistence and strategy, eventually, your moment will come. Before you go, make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need to hear these stories. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss content like this. And if you really want to support what we're doing here, consider sharing this video with someone who needs motivation right now. Maybe it's a friend who's working on their music, an artist who's doubting themselves, or anyone who needs a reminder that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. Drop your comments below, hit that subscribe button, and remember, every legend you admire was once an unknown person refusing to quit. Your story could be next. Now go create something incredible.